Welcome to Beyond Getting In, how to set your high school student up for college success. I'm Harlan Cohen, and I'm so grateful to be here. Somebody said, "You're a real person." Yes, Angela, I am real. And I am so grateful that we all get to spend a little time together because I am on a mission to help parents to support their students. I'm also on a mission to support students, but there are so many parents who do not know so many things that are going to help your student. And I'm grateful to be here to be able to do this for you because as a parent and as someone who went through this, I understand it is very hard to prepare your student. And especially when you have high achieving students. And a lot of you, it's been great. Your students have had a lot of success. And once they get to college, sometimes that can be a little difficult, but we will go through that. So, what I want to know is what excites you most about your student starting life in college? If you can share this in the chat, I would be so grateful. I want to know what excites you most. What's the thing you think about right now that just makes you light up? I know there's a lot of things that make you uncomfortable. We'll get to that in just one second. And if you can share in the chat to everyone, I would love that because it's just going to make it so much easier. Teresa, you are so kind. Current parent of two college students here. Join Harlan's best first year coaching. It's so valuable. That was unsolicited. Thank you, Teresa. Getting exposure to diverse experience, absolutely growing independence, building relationships. Excited for him to get on his own, create a life. The independence part is huge. Discovering their independence. And I think so many students, they they don't know how to do that. It's scary to do that, and it's exciting. Thanks, Andy. Andy's in the chat sharing links with you. Discover their independence, nurture, become more mature, hopefully enjoy college as much as I did. Twin mom and excited. My sons are interested in similar colleges. That's great. But going their own way after many years in the same school, twins are really interesting. And anybody who has twins, if you do end up getting best first year, I'll give you extra email accounts for your twins for no extra fees. Having a roommate, that's a big one. Seeing the world. So many things. And there are big expectations. And for so many of you, whether you are a parent of a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, or someone in college, it's exciting right now. It is exciting. And I want you to be excited. And I want your student to be excited. But I also want you to understand some of the other questions to think about. Continuing immense growth. Because standing a little taller, if you want to support your student being independent and growing, there's going to be a lot of changes and challenges. And I'm sure a lot of you know this. And that's the next part. What makes you uncomfortable about your student starting life in college? What's something that you're a little concerned about or very concerned about? And you can share it privately if you want. You can share it with everyone, anybody. What is it that makes you uncomfortable? And just know there will be a recording of tonight's event. It'll be available for about 5 days, so you'll have a chance to check that out, and then it'll be available in Best First Year. Not fully confident in herself yet. It's a big change. Trying to establish who you are, knowing who you can trust, knowing you're enough, making smart choices. It's very tempting. Students who don't always have options sometimes can feel pressure. Homesickness, two-thirds of students feel homesick. ADHD, so I'm worried about his ability to manage his time. He's also an only child. So if you share it just with me, I won't share your name. But for any parents here who have children who have ADHD, who have IEPs, 504 plans, and I'll mention to you, I almost said your name, but I'm trying to be really careful. It is so important to make sure that they have someone that they can check in with. When I do one-on-one coaching with students, having that peer support, having the person in the disability office, accessibility office, making sure that that's in order, even checking those resources before you commit and understanding what does a student need to do to get those services. I'm doing coaching with another student, and when they get accommodations in college, they have to be the ones to arrange when they're going to take their exams. They have to plan ahead so that they can make sure the exam is in the testing center, which is very different. Getting involved without relying on friends. Oh, thanks, Donna. She said it's okay to use your name. I'm great. That's great. Academic rigor, ADHD, and nursing major. Yeah, the ADHD piece, and I am someone who sometimes has to learn things twice or three times and I'm really bright, but the way I'm taught and how I process is different. So for families with students who have ADHD, I have lots of tips and ways to support you. I enrolled in USC earlier this year due to some personal problems. I couldn't attend fall semester. Oh, good, you're a student. I told my USC advisor that I, however, can't attend and to remove my classes. I didn't hear back from her. And then when I had technical issues and couldn't sign into my school email, I was still enrolled in a bio class. She mentioned what I have to do to remove myself. I was a few days late in removing the course. Now they asked me to submit a petition to prove I didn't have any class and is giving me outstanding balance. What should I do in this situation? So real quickly, uh, because this is a very specific situation, you document everything. You share the documentation because you must have emails, you must have things you've done, and then you share that and you have to provide that proof, checking your email, checking your portals. This is something that everybody can appreciate. My daughter wants to attend a private school, so I'm concerned about the financial burden, but want to be supportive too. She'll be an athlete, but likely won't get scholarship money other than merit. Also, twin mom, empty nesting all at once. That is a lot. And I am a big supporter of making sure that you set yourself and your daughter up for success financially as well. And I have something you can do with her. I'm a big fan of having more than one place to be able to find your community. And especially with a student who is an athlete, uh, it could be a little trickier because they have to find that specific place, but I have ways that can help you. So the things you're concerned about, keep sharing those. I'm happy to address these throughout our event. I'm going to be giving away a book, a Naked Roommate book, and a Winner Learn book. And I just wanted to mention this on the top. I'm giving away a Best First Year membership. This is my college success and coaching program. And if you like anything I'm doing here today, you will love this. It's virtual group coaching every 2 weeks. I have these on-demand events you can share with your student, and then a private Facebook group. I'll share more of this later. I want to get to the most important information, but I want you to know that I've created something that saves you money, saves you time, saves you energy, and I'll have a list of what I'm going to be going through for the class of 2026. And I know there's some people here who are currently members. There's nothing like this. Families who are like, I don't know why I need this. You can do all this stuff yourself, but it's going to be a tremendous burden. And there are so many things that parents and students aren't prepared for. So I want you to know what's going to happen that first year. And there are lots of wonderful things that happen. But the focus right now for so many high school families, and this is why I'm so grateful you're here, is getting in, is getting in. Then once they're there, there's all these things that happen. And understanding what happens really can inform your decision making and help you to guide your student in a much more effective and intentional way. This parent surprised at how hard the transition was. Uh, it was as if my son had been hit by a bus. Thankfully, he's taking steps to acclimate. He has a job, he's in counseling, he's figuring out the academic things slowly. Just moved to my dorm for sophomore year. Not sure if you have yet, but can you do a video about making friends, getting to know people on your floor? Last year, I didn't know anyone and I wanted to be different this year. Harlan, I'm not sure if you'll see this, but I'm in a tough spot right now. I'm at college. I've fallen behind in a few classes, and the university has said that I'm in academic jeopardy. And I've also emailed my parents because of this. I'm skipping one of my classes because I'm too embarrassed. I want to stay at my college. I love it here. I'm just not sure how to get back on track with my work. And I have a solution for her as well. I then internships, jobs. Because of first year internships are hard to find, we looked for other ways for her to grow, like language learning, teaching English overseas. She applied for a camp counselor. This is such a great tip. She applied for a camp counselor position at international camp in Europe and was accepted. She'll learn new skills, meet kids from many different countries, get to travel. It's an experience that will give her wonderful memories and things to talk about for years. So these are some of the things that students are dealing with. This is very common. And just to give you some more data, 2/3 of students reported feeling lonely in college. Half of students having financial issues, half of students also having academic issues. More than 1 out of 5 students don't return to the same school. And then we know there's the mental health aspect. We've seen increasing rates when it comes to anxiety, depression. There's a lot of work being done to try to support students. Loneliness has become such an issue that the Chronicle of Higher Ed and institutions are creating special publications to help students to cope with this. So if you're a parent, this idea that my student's going to be lonely at that expensive private school, that is something two-thirds of students experience. And it's okay to acknowledge this. And this is going to be incredibly positive because I know how to help you to frame this and guide your student, especially if they're EA and you're still trying to figure it out. If you're ED, financial issues are a way you can get out of that. Okay. So this all starts with defining success. And right now, a lot of you are in the process of defining where is your student going to get in and where are they going to decide to go. So when it comes to college success in high school, it really looks more like one of three things. It's getting in, and this is last year, Duke admitted 3.67% of regular decision applicants, overall acceptance rate of 4.8%. And if you're someone who wants to go to a school that has such a small acceptance rate, my answer is don't go to Duke. Go to another school. And by the time we're done here, you're going to see there's so much value in so many other schools. Success is getting recruited, having someone want you. That's a big success. Success is getting money. It's very expensive. The sticker cost has gone up, but the amount families pay has actually gone down. I don't know if you know this, which is something you don't hear about, but you want to make sure you get the most amount of money. So that's how I would define success when it comes to looking at college. And right now you are in the peak if you're a senior. But the bigger question, and this is where I really want you to shift your focus, is what does success look like the first year in college? And I asked you this question, and you shared what you were excited about and what you wanted your student to experience. But if you were to ask your student, how would you define success your first year? If it's December 11th, how would you define success? And I don't know if any of you have actually asked your student this question. Like, what does it look like? And the problem is most students don't know where to begin because everything is about getting in. And then you go to the schools and you kind of have an idea of what you think it's going to be. But most students don't really know what success is. It's an accident. And students are set up to struggle, and parents are set up to struggle because this very simple question of what would success look like, specifically, and I'm going to help you to break this down. Now, when I talk about success, I like to refer to the Gallup-Purdue Index. This is one of the best indications of what a successful college experience can be. There's 6 college experiences linked to student confidence in jobs. These 6 factors contribute to graduation rates, students feeling connected to their community, and all around success. So when you're thinking about this, you don't have to come up with it. You're welcome to, but I want you to have a very clear understanding of what does success look like in your eyes, and then also how do you guide your students so they can create their definition of success. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this, and I'm watching the chat and I'm watching the Q&A. And this is actually from an event I was at Alma College. I just love going to the school. It's a small liberal arts school in Michigan, and I do their welcome programs. So these are the 6 experiences. Find at least one professor who makes you excited about learning. Connect with a professor who cares about you as a person. Find a mentor who encourages you to pursue your goals and dreams. Work on a project that takes a semester or more to complete. Have an internship or job that allows you to apply what you're learning in the classroom. And then make a plan to be in extracurricular activities and organizations while you attend college. So these are the 6 factors that I like to use as a starting point for success. Now, those of you who are feeling pressure, who are thinking, I don't want to disappoint my kid, I want them to make sure they can live this life where they can be able to live their dreams. So if you're not familiar with Jeff Silingo's book, Dream School, I highly encourage you to check it out. I've got a wonderful podcast with him, and I have a link to that you can check out. I'm going to send you an email when this is all done, and there's going to be a landing page with the slides and with a link to all the different things I talk about. But in this book, Dream School, Jeff was able to get some really cool data, really new data from NESE. And NESE is a research gathering institute out of Indiana University. And they were able to gauge certain factors that equate to student engagement and success. And I just shared those factors with you so you can see how this correlates. So elite colleges, fewer than 20% admission rate, acceptance rate. So if you look at engagement indicators, higher order learning, extent to which courses emphasize critical and analytical thinking, there really isn't much of a difference, which is astounding between the elite and the much less selective. Student faculty intervention. In fact, if you look at the much less selective and the less selective, those exceed the elite colleges. Now, if you correlate this to the six factors that equal college success, and two of them correspond to relationships with instructors, you can see how important that is. And you also can see there's a lot of opportunities at lots of different schools. This is, which one is this? Hold on. This is another one. Okay. So this is the engagement piece. And then this is participating in experiential learning. And you see there's a big difference here, 75% to 54%. But when I talked to Jeff during the podcast, he was saying the experiential learning piece, the internship, a lot of students who go to the more highly selective schools oftentimes have access to more people who are in more positions of power. So it may be their social equity or their social capital that contributes to that difference. That being said, it's something that I would look at for every single family. And I'm going to get deeper. I'm writing a book right now. I'm going from college to career. So you got me at a good time. This book is like, and I will keep you posted with everything. If you're part of my, I don't want to keep talking about best first year, but when you're like part of what I'm doing, you hear all of this because I talk to you all the time, and there's a private Facebook group. This is Jeff Salingo's conversation. We did a walk and talk around Evanston, and it was beautiful. And there's so much value because if cost is a big issue, and I had a student who reached out to me and said, should I spend $200,000 to go to my dream school, or should I go to the school? It's not my dream school, but is giving me a full ride. And that's a student who knows how to be exceptional. And if they go to a school where they have a free ride, they're going to probably be at the top of that class. And if they're someone who wants to create a world of options and they want to have experiences, they will be set. And they can go to any grad school they want. To be $200,000 in debt, maybe you'd have a payment $1,500, $1,700 a month for 10, 15 years. And I've got a way to do the math. I'll share that with you too. Defining success with internships. Is an internship more important than a degree itself? And what we've been learning is internships are so important. Internships differentiate students in terms of how employers look at hiring them. There is another piece of data from NACE, and I included it in a recent coaching session. And NACE is the National Association of College Employers. I believe that's who it is. If I screwed up the acronym, forgive me, but it's NACE. And they have this really great chart that shows what hiring managers are looking at to be the determining factor when interviewing students with equal sets of skills and experiences. And it's internships. Internships is number one, and internships in the company, an internship in general. And the third thing was skill-based learning. Students who have skills. You couple this with the increasingly difficult job market. This particular year of students, last year, was the largest class in recent history. Those students are going to be looking for internships, jobs. I have answers to all of this. I have answers. I know how to help students to work through this. But this is how we need to frame this. Because so many students right now determine success based on being wanted, right? And when they get acceptances, it's exciting, right? Because you're wanted. And if you're wanted by a school that has a very, very small percentage of students they invite in, it's even better. But what I want you to understand is success isn't about being wanted. It's about deciding it's about deciding what you want and taking action to reach your goals. It's deciding what you want. And so many students are so focused on wanting and being wanted that they don't really think about what they want. What does your student want? And I'm not talking about where do they want to go to school. I'm talking about what does your student want to do once they're there that will help them to be successful? Because getting in is not the biggest win. It's what happens once they're there. And I know it's exciting. I know you're in it, but I can tell you wherever your student gets in, they're going to be exceptional because like you're here, you care enough, and they're going to figure it out. And if it means going to a different school that isn't necessarily their dream school, well, that is part of this experience. And I'm going to give you some ways to help them to frame this. And listen, they can participate in this. They can watch this. Because if you're the student, I know there's some students here. Listen, there isn't just one school that's going to be your dream school because you're the creator of your dreams. I have lots of videos to talk about this. So how you doing here? What do you think of this? Is this interesting? Is this eye-opening? Is this upsetting? I would love to hear what you're thinking because if I were in a room with you, I'd get to see your faces. And I'm telling you, stay around till the end because I'm going to help you to see how to work through this. The thing is, most parents and most students have no idea how to approach this next part of their life. And high schools do a horrendous job preparing them. I work with top schools. And when they bring me in, I'm so grateful. And even those schools do not have the bandwidth to help students to prepare for all these other changes. And this is why parents are so important. This is why I do this. It's like, and the thing is, most people don't know that this is what they need to know. And this is why I'm so grateful to share this. So what does first year success look like? What does first year success look like? And before I do that, Diane, thanks for sharing that. What do they want is the question of the year. Thanks for simplifying that. And when you ask them this question, though, a lot of times they don't really know because when I talk to students, I do these events, I have to like whittle it down into, okay, let's think about like a day where it's not so sunny, you're feeling a little lonely. What are you going to do? Like, where are you going to go? What is it that you're going to experience? And how can you put yourself in places where you know you're going to have access to the experiences that light you up? If you're feeling homesick, what are you going to do that day? Where are you going to go? How can you do things that light you up? How can you be prepared to get comfortable with the uncomfortable? Wanting is so important. And here's the other thing. And it's like when you think about how school is designed and how education is designed, it's not about what a student wants. More so, it's about what is it that I want you to do to satisfy requirements so that you can be the best so you can be wanted. So this exercise of focusing on what you want, it might be hard. And there are some ways that you can help your student to start to think about that. And one of them is for you to just really allow your student to want whatever they want. We'll get to that too. Think friends, experiences. What do you like to do in high school? Distance, weather, safety. Where will you spend your time? What would you love to do in college? Finances, campus jobs, experiences. What's cool is like my son's a musician, so he wants to do music things. He wants to be in a place where he's around musicians. He also has some other interests, and those align with different clubs, activities, and organizations. And I have two kids in college, and the journey of them discovering what they want has been so powerful. They want to graduate in 4 years. Most students in most schools don't graduate in 4 years. There are some schools where students do, or the majority do. Uh, when you're looking at the college scorecard, that's 8-year graduation rates. When you're looking at schools graduation rates, most of the time that's 6 years. So what is the graduation rate? And what are the expectations? Because 2 more years of tuition, room and board could be expensive. When it comes to costs, when it comes to what do you want to pay? What do you want to pay? What do they want to pay? How much can they pay? I've got this future math calculator, and when you go through this calculator, you can pick a career, you can include an estimated loan amount, and you can see how much you're going to make roughly a month in take home pay and how much your payment's going to be if you take out loans. Every student should know what their payment will be if they take out loans. And parents, do this with your kid. Like this is so this thing I built this because I want everyone to know what it is they're working towards. What is success? It's not just about a job, and it's not just about earning money. It's about having a clear plan of what is it that's most important to you. So, where do you start? Right? Where do you start when it comes to that question, what do you want? Well, there are five big transitions that students will go through in college. Five big transitions. And when I went to the University of Wisconsin, I wasn't prepared for any of them. I ended up struggling, didn't get along with my roommate. He moved out, didn't get into a fraternity because that's all I knew to find friends. Got rejected by them all. My girlfriend ended up dumping me because I had a high school girlfriend. She was a senior, I was a freshman, and I was lost. That's why I do this, because I was prepared to go to college according to my school, and I floundered and I got really depressed and I transferred. Question. My daughter just got into university that has a great co-op program. She's a design major. She was accepted for a second major, which is liberal arts. Should she still consider going there if it's not a major? Can they switch majors at that time? If this is a university that has a great co-op program and there are other people on that campus who are in that major who are doing the things she wants to do, then let's just say she's there and she's in a major that's like a tangent. But what's to stop her from talking to those professors? What's to stop her from visiting with people who don't teach her? What's to stop her from being in clubs or organizations where she could be around like-minded people? So she could be in a major that might be a little different, but also be in contact with the people who are living the experiences she wants to live. And because she's so hungry and curious, and being curious and uninhibited, those are the two most important attributes when it comes to what I've seen student success, uninhibited curiosity. Then why can't she get involved? Like being in a major doesn't mean you have to stay in that like building. You could do anything. So she should talk to some of the students in the major that she's being accepted into. She should talk to the advisor, and she should also talk to some of the instructors, the professors who are doing the things that excite her and motivate her, because that is going to be the thing that's going to help her the most, right? So like these questions of like, should I go? Should I go? It's so fun to play this game. I fear the idea of talking to professors. I'm really avoiding the awkward silence. So ID, I'm sorry, oh, I wasn't supposed to share. It's initials anyway. Here's the deal. Okay. I have so many coaching sessions on talking to professors. So many students get stuck because they think because they're talking to a professor that they're supposed to impress them, or the professor is someone who's going to judge you. Your job is to not know. Your job is to not know. Your job is to not know and be curious. And when you don't know and you're curious, you do your professor a favor by talking to them, by showing an interest, and you give them permission to think whatever they think. You could bring someone with you, and you embrace the fact that if a professor isn't kind to you, that's a miserable professor. They were miserable before you got there, okay? It's not a you thing, it's a miserable professor thing. Because your job is to learn and to align with people who can help you. You got it? It's telling that story. These professors, imagine them getting up in the morning, putting their boxers on, drinking their coffee, dealing with whatever they're dealing with. The ones who are bitter and unkind are the ones who need to spend time alone. It's like it's not a you thing. All right, I'm a little bit jazzed up here. So here's what you have to think about, these five transitions. So what are the five transitions? The social transition, making friends, building relationships, finding connection, finding community. One of the biggest mistakes students make is they go to school thinking that they're going to make friends if they've had struggles making friends in the past. They depend on other people to accept them, include them. They put themselves in situations where they have to be invited, they have to get in. One of the things I teach you, I do this through my coaching, I'm doing it here today, two places. Every student should have at least two places wherever they go where they're welcome and included simply because they show up. Like I wouldn't go to a college if there weren't at least two places. Places are where you sweat, play, pray, live, learn, lead, love, and work. The emotional transition. If any of you have neurodivergent students, if any of you are here, I got students here. I love that you're here. It's great. Emotional. Sometimes it's easy to become dysregulated. So, what is it that you're going to do so that you can make sure that you can have an emotional success plan? Physical, being in a new place surrounded by new people, having new experiences, taking care of your body, your physical space, the roommate piece. A lot of people end up living with roommates because they think they're going to be friends. And if they're friends, great, but friendship is not a requirement, it's a bonus. And parents, the most important thing is can this roommate, does this roommate go to sleep at the same time? Do they wake up? Can they communicate when there's something uncomfortable? And can your kid be able to set the expectations so that you can all, so that they can talk about uncomfortable situations? I've got a whole roommate coaching session. Okay, the financial transition. The financial transition, I really believe parents and students need to be partners. And if you are fortunate enough where your student does need to work, I would encourage them to work because when you work, you learn how to be in situations where you're around other people. And when you work, you have practice. You learn and you learn what you like and don't like. I think it's so important. 15 hours a week, they say, is a perfect number. The academic transition. Right? That's the fifth. I went through all these and there's academic. And the academic one, I was at Vanderbilt the other day walking around campus. I met this student who failed a midterm, got a D. He's having a rough day because he didn't know how to fail. And he was shook. He was shook. And I helped him to reframe. Students who are used to doing well really struggle when they're around other people who do well and they don't do as well. And parents, they don't expect this either. SEPFA, social, emotional, physical, financial, and academic. SEPFA. These are the five big transitions. And when a student graduates, it becomes SEPFAP. SEPFAP. They're terrible acronyms. Terrible. SEPFAP. These are the five biggest transitions. Someone just shared, I'm scared I won't be able to get a job or internship in college. I want to tell you, I'm so happy you're scared. Be scared. It's okay. Fear isn't a terrible thing. But I don't want you to spend so much time being scared that you don't do anything about it. Because if you want to get a job or internship, I will tell you exactly what you should do. You should go to your career center and you should talk to a career counselor, a career coach. You should explain what it is you're interested in doing. You should ask them if they have any ways to help you to connect with people who are doing those things. You can shadow people who are doing the things you want to do. You can reach out to alumni who are doing the things you want to do. You could reach out to people in the community near your campus and ask them questions. Instead of being scared, be curious. Be curious. Because even if you don't get an internship, you will build these meaningful connections and relationships. And in a world where technology is constantly becoming the focus, having relationships and having uninhibited curiosity is going to be the thing that separates you from most people. And if you want something, I'm not using your name, if I want to use your name, if you want something, you will be able to get it. And as a first year student, this is what I'm learning while writing my college book, my college to career book. It's you go to the career center your first semester. You go there first semester and you try to find people who could be in your corner. You talk to your professors about other students who had cool internships, opportunities on campus that you should look for. Maybe they're an advisor of a group or organization. And you approach this not as like, oh, I'm lucky if somebody gives me attention. It's like, no, you are there because you have a purpose and you are intentional and you are curious. And now you're going to have a fire. You're going to have a fire and you're going to have people who can support you. Do you get that? Does that make sense? Do you still feel as scared? Fear is not going to get you an internship. It's going to get you in the door of people who can help you. See, this is about nurturing curiosity and exploring and having experiences. That's what it is. What is social success? What is emotional success? What is physical success? What is financial success? And what is academic success? These are all different success stories. One of the things I do throughout the year, in the summer, especially, I coach you through 5 different transition plans, which are success plans. What are your 5 plans? What is it you want to do? And for any of you who are interested in internship, starting the first week of January, we're going to do a win or learn risk taking experiment focused on jobs and internships. And I'm going to help you to step outside your comfort zone, and you're going to embrace the law of rejection, this beautiful law that says not everyone and everything is going to always respond to you. You can be the best, the brightest, you could do everything right, and you won't always get the outcome you want. And you're going to start telling your story. So for everybody here, tomorrow's December 12th. What's your December 12th, 2026 story? What's your 2026 story? Because when you tell stories, it becomes easier to understand what success is. It's December 12th, 2026. I had the most incredible year. I reached my goals and accomplished fill in the blank. The most challenging part was fill in the blank. I got through it by leaning on these people. I found people to help me in these places, and it took me this amount of time to get where I want to go. So now, if any of you have gotten into schools, if any of your kids have gotten into schools, if they're not sure which one to go to, have them start to put together success plans. You can share this. I'll talk to you. If your parents said you got to watch this, it's because this is going to help you to set yourself up for success. And you might discover you could have a success plan at both schools, at many schools, and then you just flip a coin. Doesn't matter. Okay. I mentioned the law of rejection. And I think that a lot of us get stuck in this world of what if we don't do it the right way? What if we do something wrong? And I want you to abandon that. And this is also with parents and expectations. If you can loosen up the expectations and give your kid permission to get things wrong, to make mistakes, to change their mind, this idea of things aren't always going to work out as planned. A lot of times they will, but a lot of times they won't. And when we embrace this law in the book Win or Learn, I call it the universal rejection truth, we change the story. The law of rejection when it comes to college admissions is you might not get into the school you want to get into because there's not enough room. You could do everything right and not get in. It doesn't mean you're any less than. And in fact, it means you're going to have a journey that's going to force you to look even deeper into what's important to you, which will give you even more control over the outcome of your college experience. Use people, places, and patience as your success guide. When I was at Vanderbilt, I met these incredible students. They were twins, and they shared their stories. And one student shared that she changed her major from a STEM major to an English major, and her identity was STEM for a long time. But once she recognized what she wanted, she shifted and she became so successful and so much stronger and so much more on purpose. It was experiencing and experimenting. Places are where you sweat, play, pray, live, learn, lead, love, and work. Sweat, play, pray, live, learn, lead, love, and work. So when looking at schools and defining what success is, looking at the activities, understanding what options are available. If you're worried about academics, ADHD has come up a bunch of times. Understanding what accessibility resources are available. How do you talk to those counselors? If you are a student with ADHD or any other learning difference or parent, I would not commit to a school till you made an appointment with the disability services, and they use the word disability or accessibility because of the ADA. So you'll hear the word disability. And I would go in there sharing what your success story would be, what you want to happen, and to understand what resources are available. Because not all schools are going to serve you the way you need to be served. And I would talk to 1 or 2 students who've had those experiences. Identify places where you're welcome and included simply by showing up. Wharton bans multi-round interviews for club applications citing hazing concerns. This is at UPenn. And there are these exclusive clubs, and a lot of students do not get into clubs and organizations at a lot of highly selective schools because they don't allow a lot of students in. It could be fewer than 10%. So if that happens, instead of being like, oh, this is terrible, you plan for that and you make sure that you have access to other clubs, activities. You're doing things where you can be in spaces with some of the leaders of those clubs and activities. You participate in a spiritual group or activity where you're volunteering, where you're around these people and you get to see who these people are and you get to learn how they got there because a lot of them will share their pathways. When I do one-on-one coaching, this is what we do. You go to the Instagram, you look and see who liked posts. You see if those students are forward facing, if they're volunteers, are they accessible? And you ask them questions. If you're investing 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, $400,000, shouldn't you talk to the people who are experiencing the things you want to experience? This is Jacob over here, and Jacob is at the University of Miami, transferred after going to community college, which I think is an amazing path. He is in the debate. He's in the debate club. And I said, how do you get into debate? He's like, anybody can be in debate. You just show up. Find the kindest people. Find the people who volunteer. Find the people who are paid. Find the people who enlist, who you can ask. Admitted student days are so helpful. I am a huge fan of students reaching out to those other students, even before admitted student days, understanding what is it that you want, having a list, and then reaching out to the people who are most accessible and available. And then patience. Patience is the ability to tolerate the time and discomfort that's part of finding your people and places. Someone mentioned, great point about disability services. We've already made a change based on the red flags during a visit. I cannot tell you how many students get to a campus and they don't know that they should have registered and they don't know that there's a counselor available to meet. There's peers that they can lean on to help with executive function and planning. These are things to talk about. How to get scholarships without having to apply for FAFSA or the CSS. I'm a U.S. citizen, but I studied in a Canadian school and currently outside the U.S. So I'm having troubles accessing the FAFSA. Also, I'm having troubles paying for CSS profile application fee. So some schools do not require you to fill out a FAFSA or CSS to give you aid, to give you merit aid, to give you award money. Some schools do, but you can just call the schools and ask them when it comes to merit aid, do I have to fill out any of these forms? Because many of them you don't. But that's, one of the pieces. And then the qualifications for those scholarships. A student can also reach out to departments to see what type of departmental scholarships are available. So defining success, define social success, emotional success, physical success, financial success, and academic success. And just to break this down a little more, if you're looking to define social success, where are the specific places where you can see yourself on campus? What is it that you want to do? Name the club, name the organization, understand how you get involved, see if it's active, reach out to people who are part of it. Easy, easy. If you're doing a campus visit, when you're talking to some of the people on campus, if you have a list of the things you want to do, that you're interested in doing, you can ask them, hey, do you know someone who does this? I have another coaching session on campus tours. Stand next to the tour guide, stand in the front of the line, because then you can have conversations as you go from point A to point B and possibly even connect with people and then get their information because you have a closer connection. Who are the people who can help you to reach your goals? Reaching out to recent grads, reaching out to people through admissions offices, reaching out to people through departments of your major, people who are paid, people you ask, people you enlist. Most students are really friendly. They're really friendly and they want to help. If you're a student who is connected to a particular culture, if you're a first generation student, if it's your religion, if it's your country of origin, find those groups and organizations where there are members. You can also talk to the advisor. You can reach out to the executive board members. It's actually really fun to do this. And if a student's like, I don't want to do this, Like parents, I'd be like, well, these are things that are important because if they're not willing to do this, how can they get the help to do this? And how can they be supported once they're there? And then this timeline, a realistic timeline, uh, you give it a year. When everyone shifts their timeline, see, one of the biggest problems is we have these expectations and then we have reality. And when expectations and reality don't align, there's a problem. When you don't get into the school you want to get into, big problem. When you don't make the friends you thought you were going to make, big problem. The solution is time, patience, people, places, patience, people, places, patience, people, places, patience. Where can you be successful? Commit to a school where you have your places, commit to a school where you have your people, commit to a school where you can be patient. Success takes planning. I encourage you to check out futuremathcalculator.com. This is my calculator, and you can sign up. It's free to do the simplified, everything's free. You could register if you want to do the advanced calculator, where you can actually put in specific data based on loans. And parents, the Parent Plus loans are really expensive. They're over 9% plus, I believe, a 4% origination fee. Oh, this is important. Uh, I help you to save a lot of money. I would encourage all of you to not commit. Do not commit until you have offers from several schools. Wait as long as you can. Wait as long as you can. The housing, that could be a question mark, but you want to wait as long as you can if money is an issue. And then what you're going to do, and I do this in the coaching program. You write a message to the school and you ask them you, for more money. You explain your situation because everybody has a situation. You ask them for more money. The FAFSA doesn't account for multiple students in college. If you've had financial challenges, if something unexpected happened that's not evident in your current financials, you can do this. You can reach out to them. You can do a financial aid appeal. The other thing you can do, and again, I'll walk you through this, and we can even share some of your offers, is you're going to go to the schools once they give you their offers, and you're going to say, this school is giving me this offer. My student really wants to go there, and I think students should be the ones to do it. They really want to go there. Uh, can you meet this? Can you match this? A lot of times they'll match it. I don't know if you know what happened at Syracuse this year. If you followed me, I was all over this, talking to Ron Lieber about this. Jeff Salingo was all over this. Families who committed ED to Syracuse were so upset because Syracuse went back to their applicant pool, the people who rejected their offers, and they sweetened the deal, offering them thousands of dollars, up to even $50,000 a year to enroll. And these students, they dropped their other schools and they enrolled. And then a lot of the families that had a couple families that did ED, and they reached back out because I encouraged them to, and they wouldn't give them any more money. Anyway, uh, I have so many ways to help save you money. Health insurance, understanding those costs, uh, waiting as long as you possibly can. There's also certain jobs, uh, going to that financial aid office, having those relationships. I'm happy to help you. Uh, if you decide to join Best First Year, if you like this, um, you will save so much money. It is so inexpensive for what I'm offering, and I made it that way because I want to get as many people as possible to join. And I've been doing this now for several years. There's people here. This is me. I love this. I want to help you. Success is not always a straight line. This is Will, and you can listen to Will's story. I'm not going to play Will's story. Short story is he was Ohio State. He left after a semester, went to Cincinnati, came back to Ohio State, realized the problem wasn't the school, it was him. He didn't understand how to navigate this change. He's now in law school, just crushing it. We stayed in touch. Will's incredible. Too many students don't understand this process. Success is not an accident. This is another student I met. Oh, and if you've liked any of these photos, these are all pictures I took. Every single one of these are pictures I've taken while visiting campuses. I visited 400 campuses, maybe more. I've been doing this for so many years. This is a student I met at UCLA, and he was slacklining. And I asked him, how did you learn how to do this? And he said, well, I would see people doing this, and I thought it was a fun thing to do. So I came out in the morning when I saw people doing this, and I asked them how they did it. And they were so kind. They trained him, like they taught him. And now he teaches people how to slackline who are interested in what he's doing. He tried to teach me. It was so hard. It was a mess. I could just feel that slackline like, crawling up on me because I could not figure this out. UCLA is one of your dream schools. UCLA is great. So you'll go there for grad school, or you'll go there for undergrad, or you go to a community college for 2 years and you transfer in. Or you just apply and you go. And if you don't get in, then you keep trying. And I could walk you through that. But anyway, so that's how he made friends. He showed up and he talked to people. Now, success isn't about the outcome. It's about a process. It takes time, patience, and it takes planning. And when you're a student and a parent who is used to outcomes, outcomes being success, college will throw you. College throws students because they're not used to getting things wrong. I was like a 3.0 student barely with my gym and art. I was used to getting things wrong, but I also didn't know what was normal. And that really threw me. See, when you know what's normal and you understand the process, it becomes much easier to live this mindset. I never lose, I either win or I learn. This is Nelson Mandela's quote. It's the title of my book. So win or learn mindset. And it's a very different way of looking at college and not just through not just about getting into college, it's looking at life. Because what I teach and what I share and the framework that I'm delivering is not just for college. This is what do you want? And how do you practice answering that question? What makes you uncomfortable? Can you embrace this law of rejection? And then people, places, patience. So to sum this up, and I'm going to give away a best first year. Someone already got a membership, and I've got a special offer, and it is special. I'm going to give you a book. If anybody wants to get a best first year uh, today, I'll probably do it for the next 48 hours. But if you do it today, I'll give you a free book as well. You start with first year facts, understanding what the reality is. Then you define college success in high school, not just on getting in, but what that's going to look like once you're there. Then you use the five big transitions to guide you so that you have a place to start. And then people, places, and patience will help you to make these discoveries. And then success is defined by experiencing and learning. And if you can be curious and learn and put yourself out there, great things are going to happen. Great things. These are books I highly recommend. Dream School by Jeff Selingo, Hacking College, a fantastic book. I have a podcast. I have a podcast with the authors. I think all these authors. I've had everyone but Frank Bruni on my podcast. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't realize that. Elizabeth Hamlet, she's fantastic. Pathways for Students with Disabilities. Jennifer Wallace, Never Enough. She's got another book that's going to be coming out. She's terrific. And then Frank Bruni, Where You Go Is Not Who You'll Be. So this is what I do. And I don't think you're going to find this anywhere else because there's really no one else who's doing this, who has a level of expertise, I mean, I have a million, 1.7 million followers across social media. I'm in the book I'm writing, the research, the people I'm in contact with. It's like the coolest thing. And the thing that gives me more pleasure than any of this is to share the information. It's not about me, but man, it is exciting to have access to all of these experts and to share this with you because what I talk about works and it helps. So if you want to set your student up for success, I highly encourage you. Oh, Lisa, you joined Best First Year and it's been great. Thank you. I'm happy to see you. I love that there's people here. It's really a community. And I want to continue it. Like we're going to do the career thing. I'm going to have a career program. Uh, but this is what I do. And I can help you with financial aid, merit aid, roommate expectations, mental health, accessing accessing disability services, staying safe. We didn't even talk about that. Making smart choices. So when you join, it's coaching every 2 weeks. There's live Q&A with me. It's a private Facebook group. I've got these on-demand events that are like quick and easy, like boom, like this. I have one about 17 things you need to do a summer before college. 13 mistakes high school seniors make when choosing a college. There's all these different events. And, if your kid wants to participate, and I know there's students here, you participate as much or as little as you want. And I give you this long, you get so much access. It's there when you need it and want it. Go through waves. This is what it looks like once you join. You can join in high school, you can join in college. I strongly encourage junior families, senior families, first year college students. You can take 15% off best first year, 12 or 18-month membership. Use code Beyond15, and then I will send you a free book. And Lisa, I don't know if you got a free book, but if you didn't get a free book, I'll send you a free book. I appreciate you being here. And this is how you can join. And if money is an issue, you can let me know. There's also a way where you could do like a payment plan through, I think, Assure that's part of this. If you're thinking, well, Harlan, I don't really know what it is that I want to, why I need this, I'm going to not go through all of these, but I just want you to know these are some of the things we're covering, as well as the 2026 Winter Learn Risk Taking Experiment. How to help your student approach roommates, doing future math, best rates for loans, questions asked during admitted student days, orientation programs, scholarships, opt out of insurance, advocating for themselves, how to find the best people to be in their corner, how to help them commit to the best school using these transitions, defining success, how to appeal for more aid, commit to schools, when to commit, graduation rates, internships, experiential learning. These are all things that are going to be very helpful. So you can check that out. I also have a wonderful conversation. Oh my gosh, hold on. I got to cover this up. This was supposed to be a build up. Oh man. If any of you are still like, if you tuned out, okay. Sorry. This was supposed to be exciting because I've got a winner of Best First Year. We did a random drawing. And the winner, and we'll give you an 18-month membership and we'll give you the books and you get two emails because when you're a 12-month or 18-month member, you get access for two emails. And it's Kelly Y. I'm not going to mess up your last name, but Kelly, congratulations. Andy will send you a message and you will get to participate in Best First Year. And I'm thrilled that you are a winner. And with that, I would love to know if any of you have questions. If any of you have questions, what did you think of this? Do you like this? Is it helpful? Did you find this annoying? Do you think there's things I could do better? Uh, yeah, I'm on a mission, and the mission is I want to serve parents. Um, there are lots of different career paths that I could have taken, and this is something that I have done for the love of helping families. Uh, I have been really excited because Best First Year now is growing into a community. It's going to grow even larger, and it has been really challenging to help families and parents to understand what we're doing because what we're doing changes lives and it's so powerful. And it's not just about college. And the other thing is for parents, I want you to know when we're doing this Win or Learn 2026 risk taking experiment, what do you want to create change or experience? What challenge do you want to take on this year? A lot of families, a lot of parents, they get really attached to their kids, and I am too. A lot of them. I love my kids more than anything in the world. My wife too. I love them. But I make sure that I have things that challenge me outside of their life so that I can give them the room to grow and experience. And I'm constantly experimenting and I'm challenged and I share my rejections, my victories, my struggles. So for you, what do you want? What's important to you? What's the difference between Best First Year and one-on-one coaching? Thanks for that question. So Best First Year is the long-term program where it's group coaching and you get access to all these different resources. You can ask me questions whenever you want. One-on-one coaching is different because it's dedicated time and it's a little more, well, it's a lot more intensive because if let's say we're putting together a transition plan and defining what first year success would be, we go deep in the weeds where we will go into specific clubs, organizations, activities that align with what a student wants and really put together a plan. So they have a plan in place, and so parents understand what that plan is. I do that during the group coaching. If you want to join group coaching, the Best First Year, I'll pull different resource pages from campuses where I know students are attending to make sure that you have as much information as possible. The the Facebook group is great as well. Uh, I think that a lot of members don't take as full advantage of what I'm doing, and it's like I can answer your questions. I'd love for best first year members in the Facebook group to ask more questions because I've been doing some other lives and I'm here for you. Someone else mentioned this has been incredibly helpful and great advice, not just for students and parents. I love how you give advice on how everyone can maximize their college experience for students and give parents tips on how to support them. I really appreciate that. Oh my gosh, Susan. I just want to say I remember reading Harlan's syndicated advice column, Help Me Harlan, when I was at IU. Oh, that's so fun. I love that. I was excited to find you on social media and happy you can be a resource as my junior in high school starts this process. I love it. I love it. For juniors, best first year is great because it reframes how you look at college and how you search for colleges and the pressure cooker that's in so many communities. Psh, it's not there. And as a parent, more than anything, you understand what's going on and how to be a great resource to alleviate a lot of the stress. And I love that you loved helping Harlan. I'll share one more thing and I'm going to wrap this. So, if you think of Help Me Harlan, I started, and I'm going to be sharing this in the new book. I got an internship at the Tonight Show with Jay Leno one summer, and it was simply because I called, and I have a video about this, about how I got that internship. Then went back to Indiana University. I had been working at the Indiana Daily Student, writing editorials and columns, and I never wrote in high school. I just thought it was an interesting thing to try to do when I was in college. And I liked it. And then I started to, oh, discount code. The discount code is Beyond 15. It's Beyond 15. Oh, it's not on this page. Here. Oh, it is there. Beyond 15. Use the discount code Beyond 15. Sorry. So then I got this internship. I went back to Indiana University because a writer at the Tonight Show had written an advice column. I thought that was a cool idea. So I went back to IU and I asked if I could write an advice column. They said write a sample. So I did. And then I started writing Help Me Harlan. And this advice column, I was much more of a smart ass. I could be a lot more, like, I could have a lot more fun. Um, but it became like this staple. Like people would open the IDS over 26,000 uh, circulation. And it became this really big part of my life. And it's what I decided to do as a career. And my career path has just been experience, experiment, finding people and places, being wildly curious, sometimes probably being annoying. But my book, The Naked Roommate, has over 1 million copies in print. Um, I have I've accomplished some pretty extraordinary things, and I'm not that extraordinary. What I am is someone who's great at rejection. I'm great at taking risks. I'm great at finding people to support me, and I don't stop, right? Like I don't stop. And as we continue to live in a world where talking and communicating and having relations face to face are becoming so rare, what we're doing here and giving students and parents a framework, I think is so powerful. And you're going to see that in the career book as well. And you'll see it as part of best first year and the different coaching I do. So anyway, I know I've mentioned it a bunch of times, but I'm so thankful you're here. I feel a sense of relief when I share all this because I'm like, oh my gosh, now people know something that you didn't know. And with that, I say thank you, and I hope we can continue this and have a great relationship. And I encourage you, strongly encourage you, that if you want to be supported and want to stay ahead of these changes, to join Best First Year and to reach out to me anytime. All right. Thank you, everybody. Grateful to see you. Thank you for being here. And we will continue the conversation in other places. Oh, look, I disappeared and I'm back again. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, I am passionate. And man, I just want your kids to get to the places they want to go. And there aren't enough people helping and supporting them, and it's hard. So I love helping. All right, thank you, everybody. Thanks. I'll look and see if there's any stragglers and any additional questions. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to end it. Have a great rest of the night. Thank you.